In a galaxy teetering on the brink of chaos, the fate of countless worlds hangs in the balance. When an unlikely hero discovers an ancient artifact, she is thrust into an interstellar conflict that challenges her ideals and ignites a forbidden connection. As alliances are formed and battles loom, the question remains: can one person truly change the course of destiny? Chapter 1. The uneasy peace. On the distant planet of Valtoria, the sun dipped below jagged mountains, casting an indigo glow over the bustling city of Naxxle. Rows of bioluminescent trees swayed gently in the breeze, illuminating the streets as Zara, a skilled pilot with unruly dark curls, took a deep breath, feeling the comforting warmth of her home wash over her. However, underneath this serene exterior was a tempest of uncertainty. "I can't believe they're still arguing about the treaty," she murmured to her best friend, Ryler, a young engineer with vibrant green skin and bright, inquisitive eyes. Ryler scoffed, crossing his arms. "It's not just a treaty, Zara. It's our future. If the alliance fails, the Krath Empire will swallow us whole." Zara clenched her fists, the rage bubbling up. "But do they even care about us? All they see is power." Her heart raced, not just from anger, but from a deeper fear. What if her home was indeed at risk? As the sun finally vanished, Zara's thoughts turned to whispers she had overheard. Rumors of a hidden artifact, a relic from a civilization long gone, said to hold immense power. "Ryler, what if we could find that artifact? What if it could change everything?" she suggested, excitement flickering in her eyes. He raised an eyebrow. "You mean the one that's just a myth? You can't be serious." Despite Ryler's skepticism, the thrill of adventure pulsed in Zara's veins, and she felt an undeniable pull towards the unknown. Chapter 2. Shadows and Secrets. The following day, Zara stood on the edge of the crystalline plateau, looking out at the beautiful but unpredictable landscape. Moonlight reflected off shimmering crystals that jutted from the ground, creating a surreal labyrinth. Her heart thudded as she leaned into the challenge, feeling every shadow might be hiding something great, or someone dangerous. "Zara, wait," Ryler called, panting as he reached her side. "You can't just go into that labyrinth alone." She shot him a determined glance. "I have to know what's out there, what's real. You can stay behind if you want." "You think I'd let you go alone?" Ryler huffed, a mix of annoyance and concern etched across his face. As they ventured deeper, tension filled the air. Each turn brought a new thrill, but shadows danced with potential danger. There was conflict not just between friends but within the very essence of Zara's being, a desire for adventure battling her fear of the unknown. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed, shaking the ground beneath them. Zara's heart raced. "What was that? I don't think we're alone," Ryler shouted, his instincts kicking in. Before they could retreat, a cloaked figure emerged from the shadows, its luminescent eyes piercing through the darkness. Zara gasped, suddenly gripped by a wave of anxiety. "Who are you?" she demanded. The figure spoke in a low, resonant voice. "You seek the truth of the artifact, do you not? But be wary. Truth can be a double-edged sword." Chapter 3. A dangerous proposal. The cloaked figure, revealing himself as an ancient seer named Eldrin, led Zara and Ryler deeper into the labyrinth, weaving tales of the artifact's past and the dark forces seeking to control it. Zara's pulse raced as revelations unfolded, portraying a universe at war with itself. "We must unite the clans to retrieve it," Eldrin proposed, his eyes glistening with intensity. "You, Zara, are destined to lead them." "I can't," Zara whispered, dread crashing over her. "What if I fail?" Ryler placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You won't be alone. We can do this together." Zara felt a swell of emotions, fear, gratitude, and a flicker of hope. a mix that both invigorated and weighed her down. Torn between her personal doubts and the greater responsibility thrust upon her, she felt the weight of the universe pressing against her chest. Will you accept this responsibility? Eldrin's voice lingered, echoing with a mysterious power. Zara looked into Ryler's eyes, a silent plea exchanged. Her heart fluttered as she replied, "Yes, I will." "Then we must gather allies," Eldrin warned. "The Krath Empire cannot be underestimated." Chapter 4. Fraying alliances. Zara, Ryler, and Eldrin returned to Naxxle with a resolve that electrified the air. It was difficult to convey the urgency to the leaders of their factions. At a gathering in the Grand Hall of the Council, Zara stood before a mix of wary faces. "We need to unite," she implored, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "This artifact isn't just a myth, it's our only chance for survival." "Why should we trust you?" an elder voiced, skepticism coloring his words. "You're just a pilot." "Because I've faced the darkness and returned," Zara shot back, passion igniting within her. "I believe in our future together. Don't let fear divide us." In that moment, she felt the tide shift, their eyes flickering with interest. However, the tension in the room remained palpable, different sides murmuring against the prospects of alliance. Later, as Zara and Ryler left the council, he expressed uncertainty. "What if they don't listen? What if we're running blindly into danger? Then we create our own path," she said fiercely, a new light igniting in her spirit. Together, but deep down, a whisper of doubt lingered. What if her greatest challenge was the division between her own allies? Chapter 5. The threshold of destiny. The day of the alliance meeting arrived, but darkness was brewing. The Krath Empire sent spies to infiltrate their ranks. Betrayal lingered in the shadows. Zara felt it in her gut. Something isn't right, she admitted to Ryler as they gathered with their newfound allies outside the Grand Citadel. "Keep your guard up," he warned, suddenly fierce. "We've come too far to lose it now." As the leaders arrived, tension crackled in the air. Just as Zara began to speak, a deafening blast erupted, shattering the moment. The ground shook violently as the Krath Empire's forces stormed in, their advanced technology wreaking havoc. "No!" Zara cried, trying to shield the allies around her. The chaos erupted, her heart pounding in her ears. This was the moment of truth. "Ryler, we can't let them take the artifact," she shouted amid the chaos. "I know. Follow me," he urged, determination shining through the chaos. They dashed through the pandemonium, adrenaline surging in their veins, but questions loomed. Would they find the artifact? Would they unite their people? And could Zara truly become the hero they needed? As they fled, Zara's heart raced with unfurling possibilities and deadlocked fears. She grasped Ryler's hand tightly while whispers of doubt fought against the surge of adrenaline. In this moment, destiny awaited, not only for her, but for the galaxy itself. Don't forget to subscribe. 91% of viewers enjoy our content but forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with our daily sci-fi stories and support a dedicated team of storytellers and content creators who rely on this as their livelihood. On the distant planet of Valtoria, the sun dipped below jagged mountains, casting an indigo glow over the bustling city of Naxxle. The streets were lively, alive with the hum of vendors peddling their wares, the chatter of citizens, and the enchanting melodies played by street musicians. Among all this, the bioluminescent trees lined the sidewalks, their phosphorescent leaves swaying gently in the cool evening breeze, illuminating the streets with an ethereal light. Zara, a skilled pilot with unruly dark curls that seemed to defy gravity, took a deep breath, letting the comforting warmth of home wash over her. Vibrant shades of blue and violet surrounded her, but beneath this serene exterior lay a tempest of uncertainty. I can't believe they're still arguing about the treaty, she murmured to her best friend, Ryler, a young engineer with vibrant green skin that glowed softly in the dim light and bright, inquisitive eyes that seemed to absorb the world around him. Ryler scoffed, crossing his arms, his brows knitted in frustration. It's not just a treaty, Zara. It's our future. If the alliance fails, the Krath Empire will swallow us whole. Zara clenched her fists, the rage bubbling up inside her, warmth transforming into a fierce resolve. But do they even care about us? She retorted. Her voice rose slightly, carrying the weight of her fears. All they see is power. Her heart raced, not just from anger, but from a deeper fear that gnawed at her subconscious. What if her home was indeed at risk? As the sun finally vanished behind the mountains, casting a dusk blanket over Naxxel, Zara's mind wandered to the whispers she had overheard just days before. Rumors of a hidden artifact, a relic from a civilization long gone, said to hold immense power capable of altering reality. Ryler, what if we could find that artifact? What if it could change everything? Zara suggested, excitement flickering in her eyes, painting visions of adventure across her mind. He raised an eyebrow, a mixture of skepticism and intrigue playing across his features. You mean the one that's just a myth? You can't be serious. Despite Ryler's hesitation and logic, the thrill of adventure pulsed in Zara's veins, igniting her spirit as she felt an undeniable pull towards the unknown. The artifact called to her, like an unseen thread weaving itself into the fabric of her destiny. As they walked through the glowing streets of Naxxel, filled with a sense of determination, they bumped into an old merchant prince, a figure draped in rags, yet his eyes glimmered with the brilliance of wisdom born from untold experiences. He peered into Zara's searching gaze, taking in her ambition. "Child," he rasped, his voice grating like sandpaper, "the whispers you hear are the echoes of a world long buried. Seek the truth, but be wary. It is a powerful companion that can just as easily lead you astray." Zara felt a shiver run down her spine at his words, a warning laced with truth. But excitement drowned her apprehension. She brushed the old merchant's words aside, believing in her cause. Ignoring danger had always been her weapon of choice. The following day, beneath the eerie glow of twin moons that hung like orbs of sapphire in the sky, Zara stood at the edge of the crystalline plateau, her gaze fixed on the mystifying landscape. It was a world untouched by time, a symphony of crystalline formations that jutted from the ground with iridescent brilliance. The air crackled with an electric tension, vibrating beneath her skin as she leaned forward into the challenge, each pulse of her heart echoing the uncertainty that hummed in the atmosphere. Every shadow cast by the towering crystals felt alive, as if harboring hidden secrets that whispered to her to uncover them. "Zara, wait!" Ryler's urgent voice broke through her contemplation, punctuated by the sound of hurried footsteps behind her. His vibrant green skin seemed to glow even more intensely against the backdrop of the deepening twilight. "You can't just go into that labyrinth alone." His emerald eyes were wide with a mix of concern and determination, and his unruly azure hair danced wildly in the evening breeze. She turned to face him, a decisive fire igniting within her. "I have to know what's out there, what's real. You can stay behind if you want." Zara's voice, though tinged with defiance, was laced with an undercurrent of fear, reflecting her internal struggle. She sensed Ryler's hesitation, but the call of the unknown was too potent to ignore. "You think I'd let you go alone?" Ryler scoffed, a spark of annoyance flashing across his face. "If we're doing this, we do it together. Besides, you know I can be useful." Zara felt a swell of gratitude towards him, her heart lightening as he fell into step beside her. "Fine," she conceded, although the thrill of disobedience tugged at her senses. Together, they ventured into the labyrinthine expanse, surrounded by towering crystals that formed twisting passages lit by flickers of bioluminescence. With each step deeper into the Orinthian labyrinth, tension charged the atmosphere like a heavy storm cloud, as if the very rocks beneath their feet harbored secrets of their own. Shadows danced along the crystal walls, illusions of movement teasing their eyes, every flicker a reminder of the dangers that lurked just out of sight. Ryler's shoulders tensed beside her, his fear palpable. "Do you hear that?" he muttered, his voice barely above a whisper. Zara strained her ears, caught between the overwhelming allure of the labyrinth and her instinct to flee. The low rumble reverberated through the ground, a sound like distant thunder accompanied by the echoing hiss of something alive in the dark. Her heart raced, a primal beat urging her either to flee or to face the unknown head-on. "What was that?" she breathed, stepping backward instinctively, but her feet betrayed her, urging her to step forward. "I don't think we're alone," Ryler shouted, the tension in his voice rising as he scanned their surroundings. Fear gripped them, mingling with excitement as adrenaline coursed their veins. Zara's breath caught in her throat. Before they could contemplate the best course of action, a cloaked figure emerged from the shadows, materializing as if from the very air itself. The figure was dauntingly tall, encased in layers of dark fabric that shimmered mysteriously, contrasting starkly against the luminous crystals around them. Its hood obscured the face, but two luminescent eyes gleamed like twin stars, piercing through darkness. A gaze that seemed to see right through their very souls. Zara gasped, half-stepping backward as Ryler instinctively positioned himself in front of her, bracing for confrontation. "Who are you?" Zara demanded, voice trembling with a mix of fear and resolve. The figure's voice flowed like honey, low and resonant, yet it held an underlying power. "You seek the truth of the artifact, do you not? But heed my warning. Truth can be a double-edged sword." Zara's mind raced, filled with surging emotions, panic entwined with exhilarating curiosity. "What do you know of the artifact?" she pressed, drawn to the figure despite her caution. "The universe is not simply a canvas of light and shadow," the figure responded cryptically, gliding forward as though floating rather than walking. "It is a vast tapestry threaded with secrets, woven by those with the power to understand. You have stumbled upon a path from which there is no return. Are you prepared to embrace whatever truths lie ahead?" Zara felt the weight of the figure's words, a foreboding sense of destiny stirring within her. Ryler regarded the figure cautiously, his brow furrowed. "And if we refuse, then the shadows will claim you," the figure replied simply, the glow from its eyes casting a surreal illumination in the vastness of the labyrinth. A heavy silence filled the air as Zara exchanged a glance with Ryler, a silent communication brimming with questions and fear. Before either of them could respond, the figure extended a hand, revealing an intricate device pulsating with a soft, blue light. A small artifact that appeared ancient yet strangely advanced, humming with an energy that resonated with Zara's very being. "This is a key," the figure declared. "But it is also a choice. Choose wisely." Then, just as abruptly as it had appeared, the cloaked figure withdrew, melting back into the shadows, leaving Zara and Ryler standing alone in the luminescent maze. Zara's heart thundered in her chest, each beat echoing the weight of the figure's promise or threat. "What just happened?" Ryler finally asked, breaking the spell of silence that had enveloped them. I don't know," Zara stammered, the allure of the unknown pulling her forward despite the terror rooting her in place. "But I think we need to find out. What if it's a trap?" he cautioned, eyes narrowed as anxiety twisted his features. "Then we'll outsmart it," Zara replied, resolve hardening within her. "We can't turn back now." They grasped the mystical artifact, its cool surface vibrating against their palms, and together, they stepped deeper into the labyrinth where mysteries awaited. The crystals hummed around them, singing ancient songs as they delved into the unknown, where each passage seemed to pulse with potential and peril. Their footsteps echoed through the corridors, mixing with the thrum of energy that surged around them, every turn unveiling new wonders cloaked in mystery. But as they descended further, shadows elongated and twisted among the crystalline walls, an unsettling feeling intruding upon Zara's thoughts, an awareness that they were entangled in forces far greater than themselves. The figure, cloaked in shadows, exuded an air of enigma and power. Eldrin was tall and lean, his features obscured beneath the heavy fabric of his cloak, save for a pair of luminescent eyes that glimmered with untold wisdom and age. They seemed to beckon Zara and Ryler into a deeper understanding of the ancient cosmic mysteries that surrounded them. As the echoes of their footsteps bounced off the crystalline walls of the labyrinth, every step took her further from the warm familiarity of home and deeper into a realm of uncertainty. "Do you understand the stakes of this journey?" he asked, his voice resonating with an otherworldly cadence that sent shivers down Zara's spine. Zara exchanged a glance with Ryler. "We have to stop whoever's trying to control it. But how do we unite the clans?" she questioned, feeling the weight of leadership before she had even begun to comprehend what it entailed. Eldrin nodded solemnly. "You will need to forge bonds with those you once considered enemies. Fear and mistrust lurk in every corner of our galaxy. It is only through mutual understanding that you can begin to weave the threads of unity." His fingers moved gracefully, gesturing as if to illustrate a tapestry being carefully stitched together. The labyrinth seemed to pulse with unseen energy as Eldrin led them towards an ancient shrine concealed amidst the crystals, its walls covered in intricate glyphs and illustrations etched in what appeared to be a lost language. "Here," he gestured, and the crystal walls absorbed the dim light, transforming it into a soft ethereal glow that bathed the space in an otherworldly aura. "What is this place?" Ryler asked, stepping closer, his curiosity piqued. "This, my friends, is a nexus of power," Eldrin explained, caressing the symbols with his fingers. Each touch resonated with a harmonic vibration that made the crystals hum. "The artifact you seek is not merely an object. It is capable of amplifying the will of its wielder. In the wrong hands, it will bring nothing but devastation." Zara felt the air grow charged with tension, a sense of destiny enveloping her. Could it really be that she was meant to be a harbinger of unity? Her heart pounded with the significance of her next words. "What do you need from us?" Eldrin's luminescent gaze shifted, seemingly peering into the very fabric of their souls. "You must gather the clans before the Krath Empire can intercept us. They, too, seek the artifact, and with it the power to enslave worlds. Your presence, Zara, your courage, can light the spark needed to rally them." "But I don't know how to lead," she protested, feeling a wave of suffocating self-doubt wash over her. "I'm just a pilot. I'm not a leader." Ryler stepped closer, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You can do this, Zara. We've already come this far. You aren't alone in this." A wave of gratitude surged within her at Ryler's words, yet fear of failure loomed ominously. "But what if I falter? What if our efforts are in vain?" She lingered on her insecurities. Eldrin straightened, the gravity of his presence filling the space. "Leadership is born in moments of uncertainty. It is not in the absence of fear but in the perseverance through it. Fate has intertwined your paths for a reason. The galaxy rests upon your shoulders now." She took a deep, stabilizing breath, absorbing his words. The enormity of the situation pressed around her, yet a glint of courage started to flicker within her heart. "All right, I will do it," she declared, her voice barely above a whisper but resolute. With a brief nod of approval from Eldrin, she felt a spark of strength ignite within her, mingled with the urgency of the task ahead. "What is our first step?" she inquired, her brow furrowing with determination. "The first realm to visit is Velothar," Eldrin replied. "The mountainous terrain houses the clan of the Skyrunners, builders of advanced ships and guardians of the skies. They are proud and fierce. It is imperative that you approach them with both respect and strength." "Why them?" Ryler interjected, skepticism threading through his voice. "Because they hold essential knowledge on advanced technologies that can level the playing field against the Krath Empire. They also feel betrayed by the Alliance, and their trust is something you must earn," Eldrin elaborated, eyes sharp with purpose. The journey to Velothar loomed over them, a winding path filled with challenges and the weight of potential failure. Yet, Zara's heart thrummed with purpose, a beacon lighting the way through the shadows of uncertainty. As they began to leave the labyrinth, Zara's mind swirled with visions of uniting the clans and the intricacies that lay ahead. Night fell outside, stars twinkling like distant promises of hope. Each pulse of the distant cosmos mirrored her thudding heart, caught between fear and resolve. The vastness of their world seemed both daunting and intoxicating, and with every step into the uncharted void, she felt the gravitational pull of her destiny drawing closer. Eldrin led them through narrow passages, where the air was tinged with an electric charge. The labyrinth breathed around them. The crystals shimmered in various hues, a beautiful display that seemed to communicate deeper truths. Zara paused, mesmerized. "What if we can't bring them together?" she voiced, doubt creeping back into her thoughts. Eldrin's eyes softened, understanding her uncertainty. "Courage, Zara. Sometimes it is the smallest voices who can make the loudest impact. You will not walk this road alone." Together, they emerged from the labyrinth, stepping into a moonlit world soaked in anticipation. Each shadow concealed untold adventures, the whispers of fate threading through the air like smoke. The overwhelming beauty of star-kissed vistas surrounded them, yet the oppressive weight of their mission settled upon her like a shroud. "Velothar isn't far, but the journey will test us," Eldrin warned, his voice low and commanding, reverberating with ancient wisdom. "Whatever lies ahead, we'll face it together," Ryler affirmed, clenching his fists with determination. His emerald skin glowed vibrantly in the moonlight, a steadfast heartbeat of resolve. Drawing in a breath, Zara nodded. "Then we go," she affirmed, stepping forward. With that, they set off, embarking on a path of uncertainty that unfurled before them like the veins of their fragile galaxy. Each step brought them closer to the fateful encounter at Velothar, and as they traversed the breathtaking landscape, shadows danced around them, whispering secrets of the past while threatening the future. Zara, Ryler, and Eldrin stood on the precipice of a new reality, their hearts pounding with the weight of the alliance they aimed to forge. The journey back to Naxxle felt like a descent into a storm, each step tinged with a foreboding sense of urgency. The vast expanse of the cosmos loomed above them like a herald of the conflicts yet to come, stars twinkling with the promise of hope and fear alike. Upon entering the grand citadel of the Council, Zara sensed the electric weight of anticipation gathering in the air. The ornate walls, adorned with ancient murals depicting heroic alliances from eras long past, seemed to whisper stories of struggle and unity. Yet, the council chamber felt like an arena, the seating arranged in tiers, watching her like predators waiting to judge their prey. "Remember, speak from the heart," Eldrin murmured as they approached the central dais. The wisdom in his voice steadied her, but the dread of disbelief clawed at her insides. With her palms clammy and the murmurs of the assembly growing louder, Zara took a deep breath before addressing the crowd. "Esteemed leaders, we stand at a crucial juncture. The artifact we seek is not just a fable, it's a key to our survival. If we do not unite our strengths against the Krath Empire, we risk annihilation. Murmurs morphed into outcries, skepticism dancing in the eyes of the elders. How can we trust the word of a mere pilot? Challenged an elder woman, her gray hair a crown of authority. A child's fantasy does not warrant our resources. The pressure intensified, beads of sweat forming along her brow. However, within her arose a fierce determination as she remembered Eldrin's words about the weight of truth, the importance of forging bonds in the face of adversity. I am no longer just a pilot, I am one of you. We all share the same scars, the same stakes. The Krath Empire may fear our unison, but it is our fragility they will exploit. Zara's voice resonated, emotions spilling into the atmosphere among her audience. Now is the time for courage, for unity. But the crowd remained unconvinced. An undercurrent of suspicion rippled through their ranks, and Zara could sense the divide growing. They were uncertain of her resolve, their loyalty to her waning. Fragmented discussions erupted among the assembly members, their unease merging with unwarranted fear. As the session drew to an end, Zara felt a torrent of hopelessness surge through her veins. Ryler, always attuned to her emotional fluctuations, placed a hand on her shoulder. Keep your head up. You've planted doubt in their hearts about remaining divided, and that's a start. She nodded, though the weight of it crushed her spirit. But what if it isn't enough? The ghosts of uncertainty haunted her, twisting the courage she sought to muster. Later, Zara and Ryler stood outside, overlooking the sprawling city of Naxxel. The moon bathed the buildings in a soft, spectral glow. They had retreated from the council's frustrations, left with their raw emotions slicing through the tranquil night. What now? Ryler asked, his green skin shimmering in the moonlight. Do we wait for them to come around? Do we keep pushing? Zara peered into the distance, seeing the flashing lights of ships in the night sky. We can't wait, she decided, a fire igniting in her heart anew. We need to explore all possibilities and create our path. But first, before she could finish, a tremor echoed beneath their feet, an unnerving prelude to a maelstrom. The ground shook with urgency as figures poured into the streets, fear flashing in their eyes. Zara's heart sank as she recognized the markings on the approaching ships, the deadly insignia of the Krath Empire. Zara, we need to hide, Ryler urged, but there was a different resolution tightening in her chest. No, she replied, steely determination sharpening her voice. They've come for the artifact. We can't allow them to seize the advantage. Ryler hesitated, the concern radiating through him. You're serious? We can't face them directly. We will find allies, we'll fight, she affirmed, channeling the fury of every moment that had led her here. The Krath need to know we will not be intimidated. As her words hung in the air, the sound of combat began to resonate. A cacophony of explosions and blaster fires spiraled through the streets, slicing the night's quietude with the grim reminder of their fragile peace. Looming explosions illuminated the chaos. Fear and adrenaline coursed through the city as the Krath forces descended like harbingers of doom. Zara, driven by the instinct to protect, rallied a small group of citizens, their hesitant faces reflecting her own turmoil yet mingling with determination. Gather your weapons, she shouted, her words carrying like a flame in the dark. We need to defend our home. We are fighting for our lives. Ryler, heart racing, rushed to arm himself alongside her, capturing the spirit of rebellion igniting within their veins. They made their way to a vantage point where they could observe the unfolding carnage, a city on the brink of war. Zara's mind raced, calculations spinning in her thoughts as she analyzed their foes. We can outmaneuver them using the side streets, she envisioned aloud, each word punctuated by the distant thundering of footsteps and blasts. We divide their forces, cut them down where they least expect it. Ryler nodded, gripping his weapon tightly, the determination in his spirit melding with hers. You lead, I'll follow, he declared, reaffirming their bond in this chaotic moment. With a sense of resolve drawing them together, they pushed forward into the battle, determination coursing through them. Zara moved through the smoke and disruption of the conflict, carefully positioning herself, grasping the reins of their reckoning. They ambushed an advancing squadron of Krath soldiers with a fierce volley of fire, precision honed by hours of practice and the urgency of that moment. The confrontation echoed into the night, a vivid reminder that despair could ignite hope. "Zara, watch out!" Ryler shouted as a beam of energy cut through the air towards her. She ducked just in time, feeling the rush of heat on her skin as it seared past her. Dodging deftly, she recalibrated, returning fire with newfound fervor. But in the midst of the battle, doubt began to slither once more in the corners of her mind. This was only a skirmish, the intensity of the fire left her frayed. The day of the Alliance meeting dawned with a looming sense of unease, the air heavy with uncertainty and the impending threat of the Krath Empire. Valtoria's white-capped mountains looked even sharper against the crimson sky, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. Zara stood outside the Grand Citadel, flanked by Ryler and a mix of weary but determined allies, all dressed in their intricate battle attire clinking with the promise of hope and possibility. "Something isn't right," Zara murmured, her keen instincts picking up on the hidden tension in the atmosphere. It was as if the ground thrummed with dark energy, pregnant with anticipation of chaos. Ryler, his vibrant green skin reflecting the first rays of sunlight, squinted at the distant figures approaching. "Keep your guard up," he cautioned, his voice low and focused. "We've come too far to lose it now." As the leaders from various factions arrived, Zara's throat went dry. She felt like a shipbuilder standing on the edge of her greatest launch, each breath fraught with potential and danger. Tension crackled in the air, a palpable entity as the voices of skepticism and fear blended into a low murmur. When she stepped forward to address the gathering, her outline was illuminated by the golden rays of the sun breaking through the clouds. "We are gathered here today, not just as separate entities, but as a united front against the oppression of the Krath Empire." Her voice resonated with a conviction she hadn't realized she possessed, but before she could continue, a sudden roar of an engine shattered the fragile moment. A deafening blast ripped through the citadel, shattering windows and sending debris raining down like meteoric fire. Zara's heart jumped into her throat as panic unfurled around her. "No!" she screamed, instinctively trying to shield those nearest to her, just as soldiers clad in the menacing insignia of the Krath Empire crashed into the plaza. Their imposing, gray armor gleamed ominously in the din of destruction, and their advanced weaponry hummed with deadly intent. "Ryler, we can't let them take the artifact," Zara shouted over the chaos, her mind racing to the stories Eldrin had told them, the powerful artifact that could tip the balance of fate, if it fell into the wrong hands. "I know. Follow me," Ryler yelled back, determination blazing in his eyes. They exchanged a knowing glance, a mix of fear and resolve that seemed to bind their fates tighter than steel. They darted through the pandemonium, weaving between allies torn between fear and combat. Each footfall resonated with newfound purpose, as Zara clutched Ryler's hand tightly, adrenaline surging through her veins. As they navigated the crowd, she could feel the whispers of doubt trying to creep back in. Was this truly their battle? Were they destined for greatness, or were they merely pawns in a game far larger than themselves? "Zara!" A voice pierced through the chaos. It was Eldrin, his cloaked form slicing through the crowd, an anchor of calm amid the storm. "We must regroup. We cannot let them separate us. Then let's head to the central plaza," Zara proposed, urgency lacing her tone. "That's where the artifact is being kept." "Are you sure?" Ryler asked, a flicker of uncertainty flashing across his features. "There's no time to question our instincts," she replied, moving with renewed vigor. Navigating through waves of combatants, they eventually reached the majestic central plaza, fortified by ancient columns adorned with carvings that shimmered with latent energy. Suddenly, they found themselves face to face with a squadron of Krath soldiers, arrogance dripping from their posture as they blocked the path to the artifact. "Turn back, little rebels," growled the commander, a hulking figure with a twisted smirk. "The artifact belongs to the Empire now." Zara felt a wave of despair wash over her. The stakes had never been higher. They were standing against an overwhelming force, and the repercussions of failure loomed large. Even then, Ryler squared his shoulders and stepped forward. "You'll find we are not as easily cowed as you think. We fight for something far greater than ourselves." "I'm glad you feel that way," the commander taunted, gesturing to his troops. "Then we shall test that conviction." In unison, the soldiers advanced, and chaos reigned once more. Zara felt adrenaline course through her. Her heart thundered in her chest, each beat both a reminder of fear and a call to action. She and Ryler surged forward, dodging blasters and debris, fighting not just for their lives, but for a future they were beginning to believe in. "Sword to the left," Zara yelled, her voice breaking through the din, and they moved as one, each trust forged in shared hardship and a bond that deepened with each encounter. The fight was fierce, echoing against the stones of the plaza. Ryler's engineering skills enabled him to improvise makeshift weapons from the environment, his bright eyes gleaming with inventiveness as he tossed explosives that rattled with energy and detonated in bright flashes. Zara fought not just with fists but with the fire of her convictions, each blow a tribute to those who believed in them. An explosion erupted nearby, sending blinding light and heat engulfing them both. Zara stumbled but quickly regained her footing. "We have to push through to the artifact," she yelled, her voice fierce against the clamor. As they fought, shadows danced around them, suspicion and fear warring in her heart. "If we fail, will there be anything left to fight for?" she thought, bracing herself for the next round of turmoil. But at that instant, something shifted inside her, a resolve, perhaps born of fear, or perhaps the fire of destiny igniting in response to the chaos. "I won't let fear lead me," she declared, pushing forward with renewed strength. Finally, they arrived at the sanctum harboring the artifact, a colossal structure that seemed to pulse in response to their presence. There, nestled within sacred light, lay the ancient artifact, a crystalline orb radiating with energy, colors shifting like a sunset over a distant horizon. "Is this it?" Ryler asked, eyes wide with awe. "Yes," Zara breathed, her heart racing as she reached for the orb, its warmth embracing her fingertips. But a sudden tremor rattled the ground beneath them, intense and unsettling, fueled by the turmoil outside. The Krath commander's voice blasted through the commotion, relentless and mocking. "You think you can steal from us? The Empire will leave no stone unturned in our quest for total control. Surrender now, and perhaps I'll let you live." Zara's pulse quickened. "We don't need your mercy," she screamed defiantly. But doubt gnawed at her. What if their fight was futile? What if they were destined to fail? As if reading her mind, Ryler took her hand firmly, grounding her. "You are not alone in this. We're in this together," he reminded her. The bond between them was sharper than any blade, invigorating her with a sense of purpose as she turned back to the orb. "Together," she whispered, feeling the weight of fate resting on her shoulders. Suddenly, a portal of light burst open around them, illuminated with possibilities and steeped in ancient wisdom. The artifact thrummed with energy, almost alive. With trembling fingers, Zara intertwined her essence with the orb, feeling it pulse in response, a connection that transcended reality and imbued her with knowledge. Visions flashed before her eyes, the past, present, and a multitude of futures spiraling in a kaleidoscope of uncertainty and potential. And then, she understood. The true power of the artifact was not in destruction, but in unity. "Let's channel this energy into something greater," she shouted, rallying her allies. "Together, we can unite the clans. We can break the chains that bind us." A smile spread across Ryler's face. Determination lit his eyes. "Now, let's show the Empire what we're made of." With the orb vibrating with the power of their combined wills, they unleashed a brilliant wave of energy, dispelling the chaos around them, creating a shield of protection. The ominous forces of the Krath Empire faltered, their soldiers momentarily disoriented. Zara's voice rang out, unyielding and strong, bringing the fragmented allies together. "This is our moment. We will not be defined by fear. We choose courage, we choose unity, and we defined our destiny." As the wave of energy surged forth, she felt the essence of hope intertwine with her soul, realizing the truth about her own strength and purpose. In that luminous moment, she understood that the battle had always been more than just about an artifact. It was about connection, choice, and the timeless fight against oppression. The echoes of the Krath Empire's arrogance began to wane, and as alliance formed in the heart of chaos, they became something greater than they had ever imagined. A new dawn unfurled, a testament to the indomitable spirit of unity amidst turbulence. As they stood together, Zara felt the tides shift, not just in the battle, but in the very essence of their worlds. She exchanged a glance with Ryler, a silent promise made in the thrum of their joined spirits. Together, they would forge their fate. In that moment of clarity and purpose, Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for the journey ahead. She knew that the path of destiny would be fraught with challenges, but as long as she had her allies by her side, she could face any adversary that dared to threaten their dream of freedom. And as the dust of chaos settled, a resounding truth echoed within her heart. Together, they would rise, united against the shadows, ready to reclaim their narrative in this vast, converging universe. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.